Yo, what's good guys, it's Blake, and today I'm going to show you guys how to cook up a fire young Nudy type of beat from scratch. So this is going to be a melody breakdown and a drum breakdown. I made this beat with my boy Max. He's one of the most fire producers that I know, and he's one of my good friends, so I'll link his stuff in the description. But yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so first off, I'm going to play a snippet of the final beat, and then I'll get right into the breakdown.
Blake the Great?
Alright, so first things first, let's go to the keys. I got the keys from the Frank Duke's one-shot kit. It's all of his sounds from his new plugin. It's super fire. So I laid down these keys. For the sound, I threw a little bit of reverb on it and this EQ to cut out most of the low end for the bass to fit in. When me and Max were making this beat, we didn't really have any direction of what we wanted to do. So we were really just laying down random sounds. And so for this one, we definitely wanted a core bass of a sound. And so we laid down these simple chords that is basically the same thing for each two bars. And for this beat, we stayed in the scale of A sharp minor. So we just made the ghost note channel behind these keys before we split up the channels. So we knew exactly what notes to put in. So what you do is you go to a channel with no sound and you just go get a scale from this knob right here, and you just stretch it out so you know exactly what notes to use for the scale. As you can see, all of these notes fit in with A sharp minor. Next, we got this lead also from the Frank Duke's kit. We didn't throw any effects on the sound, it was already processed really well. Next, I went to the synth tape deck sound from a Keep the Truth one-shot kit. We did add this EQ for the sound and a pretty strong delay, as well as a reverb. To make this sound more like realistic, like someone's actually playing a synth, we just arpeggiated the chords a little bit. Next, we went into Omnisphere and grabbed the fair and square lead 1, and then we just played out this pattern. We didn't intend on making a young Nudy type of beat when we started laying out the first sounds, but especially with this sound, as you can tell, it's definitely more leading towards that young Nudy type of style. The only effect we added was this EQ to cut out the low mid frequencies. Lastly, for the melody, we added a LA custom C7 Grand Cinematic piano, and this is the pattern we laid out. Again, we were just laying these sounds down through the key of A sharp minor, so we knew exactly what notes to pick so we weren't out of key. We did mess with the velocities quite drastically here for this part of the melody. And again, what this does is just create a more realistic feel to your melodies. After we were done with the melody, we exported it and then we reversed the melody and pitched it down 400 cents. So here's the final result of the melody. Then we added a gross beat section where we threw the half speed on it, and this is the final result of that. Alright, now so onto the drums. Here's the hi-hat pattern that we laid down. A super simple pattern, but taking out certain hi-hats in the pattern adds a whole different bounce and groove to the drums, and it's especially used by Pierre when he's making beats for young Nudy. Next, here's the clap. Now onto the 808. When you place a note that's higher up in the scale on the 1 of the beat, and then you transition it down into a lower note, it just creates a whole different bounce for the beat, bro. I swear. I'd be saying that in like all my videos, like, oh, it just creates a whole different bounce, but it really does. And it's something that I've only really been doing recently, and that I've noticed that Pierre does in some young Nudy beats. Now here's a cadence snare. The snare is layered on with the clap, and these two little bounce snares just adds to the bounce. It's just a simple place where most people put their snares. And then we added this kick pattern. This kick pattern is a little obscure because it doesn't have the kick hitting on the one, because I don't know, we just thought having the kick played out at first in the middle just created a different, it just kind of surprises your ear a little bit. At least that's what we thought, or what we intended to do. So yeah, this is how we laid out the beat with our arrangement. Mixing wise, I already went over the plugins I used for the melody. And then for the drums, I really leave most of the drums dry, and I just throw a soft clipper on so the 808 can be hitting as hard as possible without clipping too hard. And so yeah guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.
Like the Great?